speaker, Dr. Eddie Connor Jr.
Please welcome Dr. Eddie.
Eddie Connor has become a much in-demand motivational speaker.
Because when you speak to me, I can speak to the mountain and it
Television, radio, college campuses, and with faith.
use what you have to be empowered and to be inspired.
Local author Eddie Connor's message to overcome obstacles and believe in yourself is something we all can associate with. And he's constantly giving back to the community.
I am joined now by local Detroit author, Dr. Eddie Connor Jr.
The tragedy is to be gifted, but to never open the package.
Once I'm broken, that's when my anointing is getting ready to come out of me. That's when my gift is getting ready to flow.
What's good, good people? What up, what up, what up, though? Let me know where you're watching from today. Hopefully you're having a great day in a great way. I want to welcome you to another edition of The Mix at 6. It's yours truly, Dr. Eddie. And I come to you live at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday. I know it. Let's just go to it right now. Let's just go to it right now. I know I said the weekends initially, but when I think about it, when I quantify it, when I clarify it, I need those days of rest. I believe if you don't rest, you're gonna rust. Don't stress. You got me for 5 days. I got 5 on it, right? You got me for 5 days. Can I have 2 days for myself? Please, pretty please. I'm begging you. Cherry on top. And we don't stop. Thank you. Thank you so much for acquiescing. Thank you so much for not stealing all 7 days. I'm giving you 5. So Monday through Friday, the mix is 6 with yours truly, Dr. Eddie. And by the way, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. Click the notification bell to get notified of all my new content. Be sure to pick up a copy of my latest best-selling book, which is Identity: Keys to Discover Your Uniqueness, Unlock Your Greatness. If you are not a part of the amazing Eagles Academy, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is you in the mix at 6. I'm empowering you to soar at 6. We do a special class every single Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. That would be tonight, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it's an opportunity for me to coach, teach, train, empower you, give you steps, tools, principles to really make your life work even on a greater level and a greater way than what I do right here on YouTube. We go all the way in. I got my vibe board. I'm teaching, I'm sharing, I'm drawing, I'm sketching, writing, and explaining, breaking things down in a greater way. So you want to be a part of that. Go to the eaglesacademy.com. Yeah, the eaglesacademy.com. Tap the join now button and you can be a member. Facebook family, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. Let me know where you're watching from. What city are y'all watching from? I think I might have seen New York, Jacksonville, Florida. Let me know what city you're watching from. You know my hometown is Motown. As we say, what up, though? So today we are talking about beautiful scars. How to heal the scars you can't see. That's what we want to talk about tonight. That's what we want to tap in on tonight. If you have missed much of the last few shows, you need to catch it up. And you say, well, how do I catch up? You can catch up right on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Eddie Connor. Put some respect on my name, EddieConnor. I want you to catch up on many of the shows and many of the topics of conversation that I've really been breaking down and really trying to push you to another level, because I believe we have to become more in 2024 beyond just looking to receive more. And that's one of the sessions we talked about. We talked about turning trauma into triumph, so much that we have gotten into. And tonight we want to take it to another level as well. This is what I need you to do. Of course, I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to share, I need you to subscribe, I need you to hit the notification bell. But I also need you to understand this, that your timeline could be someone's lifeline. For those of you who watch me on Facebook, especially for those of you who watch me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, I can't forget about the Twitter family. I ain't leaving y'all out tonight. For those of you on YouTube, I need you to share. Share if you care. If you've been impacted, you've been empowered, you've been inspired. For those of you who are familiar with what I do and my content and many of the conversations that I do have, I need you to make sure that you share this with somebody. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Invite somebody in tonight. Philly in the building. Tamir, hopefully I'm saying that right. Rachel G, Big Texas. It's bigger in Texas. Kenny said, I deserve that. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Rather than 7 days, 5 days. But I guarantee you, 5 is going to feel like 7. It's going to be so good, you're going to want to replay the content on the weekends. Not just listen to the weekend. You're going to want to play the content on the weekend. Let's get into it tonight. Some of the things that we go through, the myriad of the circumstances, the vicissitudinous trials and tribulations and situations, can really make an impressionable impact on our lives that a lot of times we're not in a place of healing, we're in a place of haunting. And the haunting is we continue to relive the pain. We continue to relive the past over and over again. I believe really that a lot of times, especially when we're trying to deal with our scars on our own, we're trying to oftentimes heal ourselves. And life becomes limited simply because of our own particular finite humanistic limitations. But really, when you take a glance into the mirror of your soul, when you really begin to think about who it is that you are, what it is that you do, what it is that you want, where you want to be, I believe you'll recognize that oftentimes the ugly situations of what it is that you've been through brought out the beauty in you. Nah, it didn't feel good to you, but it unlocked something greater inside of you. You know, you heard the statement that sometimes we don't realize how strong we are until being strong is our only option. Right. And really with that, I'd like to convey sometimes we don't realize how handsome, we don't realize how beautiful we are until we've had to press through some ugly situations. I need you to realize this. Despite how turbulent the pain was, despite how negative and uh how much of a turmoil the situation was and how you found yourself trying to pick yourself up out of a situation, no matter how ugly the situation is that you went through. I need you to understand this. You are not what happened to you. I need somebody to type that tonight. Put that in the comment section. Put that in the comment section tonight. You are not what happened to you. I know it made you cry. I know sometimes it made you feel like throwing in the towel. I know sometimes it made you feel like giving up. I know sometimes it made you angry. I know sometimes it really made you feel as if life was not going to ever work for you. But I need you to realize this, that you are not what happened to you. And beyond just you are not what happened to you, you're not even the mistakes that you made. You're not the mistakes that you made. You can't let what's behind you define you. The reason why you can't let what's behind you define you because the best and the blessed is ahead of you. The best of you is ahead for you. And when we think about, because yesterday we talked about yeah, finding purpose from pain, finding wisdom from your wounds. And when you really appropriate your wound the right way, when you really look at your situation, you really look at life through a different lens, when you understand that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. You understand how to actually extract and exact something positive out of the negative situation. What do I mean by that? I burned my finger a short time ago while I was cooking. No, I didn't have it today. It's some time ago. Burned my finger a little while ago while I was cooking. Don't laugh. I'm a really good cook. I can cook. I can cook. It runs in my DNA. It flows through my veins. It's in my blood. My grandfather was a chef. Okay, so every single time that I cook, you know, I do an ode to him basically, because I don't be burning nothing in the kitchen. I guess I don't burn nothing in the kitchen but myself, huh? But I burned my finger a short time ago. Yes, I had some chef skills. And right when the burn happened, I don't know if this was a good idea or not, but I soaked my finger in some cold water. You know, it was hot. To cool it off, right? Cool off the burn. Even applied some cocoa butter to it. I did not have uh any coconut oil. I guess maybe coconut oil might have done a little bit better. But I applied some little cocoa butter to it. Over the next few days, the burn it just seemingly just got worse and worse and worse. I'm trying to use good English tonight. Some people say worser. No, just got worse and worse. Sometimes I realize things have to get a little bit uglier before they get better. And my wound was one of them things. I mean, it just got uglier before it got better. And so I'm looking at my finger. I'm like, this got to look a little bit better. So I'm trying to make it appealing to the eye, right? It ain't matter about what everybody else's eyes was. I saw it because I live with me every day. I'm looking at my fingers getting worse. It's getting uglier before it's getting better. It's not appealing to my eyes. So this is what I did. I started peeling the skin. Right? I'm starting to peel the skin off my finger. And I began to realize this. I had an epiphany, had a revelation that my finger couldn't heal properly until I stopped picking at the wound. I need somebody to get that tonight. Maybe it is that your healing is taking so much longer. Maybe it is that you have not moved into a place of healing because here it is, you keep picking at the wound. You trying to fancy it up. You trying to divvy it up. You trying to outsmart yourself. You trying to make sure you look good. When in many cases you feeling bad because you want to appeal to yourself as if you got it all together. And plus you sure enough want to appeal to other people as if everything is all right and everything is worked out. The reason I bring that example up is because sometimes a setback, sometimes heartache, sometimes heartbreak burns the very fiber of who it is that we are. Burns the very fiber of our being. It burns the very fiber of our mind. And we think we cooking with somebody who's good looking. We think we cooking because we got the new promotion. We think we cooking because we've been exonerated from a situation. We think we cooking because our money is looking right. Right? We think we cooking because all those external aspects and issues. And all of a sudden, things go in the opposite direction of what we expected. And here it is. Now we find ourselves wounded. Consequently, this is what we do. Rather than moving into a place of healing, now we move into a place of picking. We picking at what hurt us. We're picking at the wounds. We're picking at the scars. We're picking at the rejection, not realizing that rejection is direction. Rejection is redirection. We pick apart our own lives. We pick apart ourselves and look at all the weaknesses that we have versus the strengths that we have. We look at ourselves and pick apart ourselves and look at all the mistakes that we have made and all the things that have happened to us. Not realizing that sometimes things don't just happen to you. They happen for you. Oh, yeah. The negative puts you in a positive aspect. The negative is what you thought is misaligning you. No, it's aligning you with your purpose so that you can be in alignment with your divine assignment. We got to stop picking apart our own lives. And as a result, it increases the scars of the painful circumstance and the situation that we found ourselves in. Sometimes you got to realize this. Sometimes things get worse before they get better. And in the midst of sometimes things getting worse before they get better, you got to refuse to be bitter. You won't heal if you keep picking at the wound of what wounded you. You won't heal if you keep picking at what and who wounded you. Listen, I know they should be held accountable for hurting you. They should be held accountable for hurting you. But here's the thing. Healing is your responsibility. You have to be responsible for the healing that takes place within you. You got to allow God to bring healing to you. You got to put yourself in a place to receive healing. Heard somebody say earlier today, they were saying that, I'm more used to giving love than being able to receive it. Too many times we find ourselves in that specific place. A lot of us know how to give love. The hard thing is receiving love, because we misappropriate and we misalign, and we, in many cases, look at ourselves from a negative perspective. Why would anybody want to love me going through what I went through? Why would anybody want to love me because of the mistakes that I've made? Why would anybody want to love me because of how people mistreated me and how they told me that I was never no good and I was never going to be anything? I was never going to overcome or become anything or anybody. And so it's easy to project what it is that we desire. And that's why healing, I need you to understand this, healing looks good on you. Notice I didn't say you having your hair whipped, dipped, fried, dyed, laid to the side look good on you. I didn't say you having your hair done, nail done, everything did looks good on you. I didn't tell you, bro, that you being G'd up from the feet up. You got on your Brioni suit and your Zegna tie. I'm not talking about that looks good on you. I'm talking about you pulling up to the scene with your ceiling missing because you said if it ain't foreign, it's born. I'm not talking about that looking good on you. I'm not talking about that fine woman on your arm. I'm not talking about that man that you find handsome on your arm. I'm not talking about any of that looks good on you. I'm not talking about the jewelry. I'm not talking about the shoes and the clothes and the skirts. I'm talking about you finding beauty from your scars. Sometimes the most beautiful thing about you is not your smile, it's your scars. Right? Because here it is. Your scars become testimonies. Your scars are been there, done that. Your scars are, yeah, this happened to me. But in many cases, I heal from it because it happened for me. The scar is emblematic to the fact that I am not what happened to me. Healing is what looks good on you. But here's the thing. You won't heal if you keep picking at the wound. Come on, y'all. If y'all rocking with me tonight, I just need you to like. I need you to put some fire emojis in the chat. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. Somebody just type healing. Type healing in the chat. Type healing in the comment section. Type healing, healing, healing. The healing brings about the revealing. The healing takes your life to another level. The healing moves and brings about greater purpose and value that's on the inside of you. Right? You got to refuse to be bitter. You got to put yourself in the mindset and the mind frame that I will be better. I will be better. Come on, healing, healing, healing. You may have the scar, but God will heal the pain. As I said before, you got to realize that your beauty is not only in your smile, your beauty is in your scars. God will give you wisdom from your wounds. God will bring beauty out of the brokenness of what it is that you have experienced. And you've got to realize this, that you are enough. Come on, type this tonight. I need you to type this tonight. Type, I am enough. I am enough. With all of what it is that I've been through, with me crying in the midnight hour, with the times where I've been broken, but I found breakthrough, I am enough. When I'm looking for the job promotion, I am enough. When I'm going to start the business, I am enough. When it feels like I'm inadequate, I am enough. When it feels as if everybody else is getting ahead of me, no, I am enough. When it feels like everybody around me is getting blessed and it seems like I'm the one being skipped, I got to understand that if God is blessing my neighbor, he's in my neighborhood. It's just a matter of time before I get what's mine. I am enough. And when I understand I am enough, then I got to say enough is enough. Enough is enough of me continually crying over the past. Enough is enough of me continually picking at the wound of what my father, of what my mother, of what my family didn't do, about how people didn't embrace me. I got to realize I'm enough. And in this superficial world today, where in many cases it's more about likes than it is about love, right? The standards of what is beautiful, the standards of what is attractive is connected to what the trendiest celebrity is looking like. And now people are wounding themselves, going under the knife, trying to look like somebody who's a celebrity, who that person don't even really like themselves. Or trying to look like somebody who's been on a magazine. In many cases, that person's airbrush and they don't really look like themselves that we think they look like on a magazine in real life. Right? We're trying to measure ourselves based upon all of these societal standards. Are you small enough? Are you dark enough? Are you light enough? Are you right enough? And not much long enough, you start asking yourself the question, am I enough? Do you make enough? Do you have a car that is enough? Is the relationship enough? All these questions that you keep analyzing and that have you, almost in a hole, trying to dig yourself out of it. Now you start asking yourself the question, are you enough? Listen, I know you've been through some tough stuff, but you can't fail to realize that you are enough. Do you know how I know that you're blessed? Do you really know how I know that you're blessed? You know you blessed when you don't look like what you've been through. You know you blessed when you don't resemble the divorce. You know you're blessed when you don't look like the abuse. You know you're blessed when you don't look like the betrayal. You know you're blessed when, in many cases, the scars have caused you to shine like a star. Why? Because you've loved yourself through what it is that you went through. What you endured didn't reduce you. You got to realize that it produced something greater on the inside of you. So what you got to do now is you got to love you. You got to celebrate you. You have to value you. And you can't expect that to happen from the right type of people until you become right for yourself. When you become the right one for the right one, when you become right for you, the right people show up for you. They don't show up to hate on you. They show up to celebrate you. Why? Because a win for you is a win for them too. You got to realize this, that you're too unique to compete. You're too rare to compare. Real love is not about competition. It's about collaboration. It's about devotion. It's about you recognizing that your royalty demands loyalty. But you have to first recognize it within yourself from all aspects of your life. You got to wear your crown. 1 Peter 2:9 says you're a royal priesthood, you're a holy nation, you're a peculiar people. You're not born to fit in, you're born to stand out. Right? So you got to be adjusting yourself to the mindset, the mind frame that I'm greater than my past. My past will not be my prison. My past will not keep me locked in to something that I know that I'm free for. Right? And I'll never be free for until I'm free from. Until I'm free from everybody else's opinion, I'll never be free from my future. Until I'm free from the negative aspects of how I view myself and my own idiosyncratic aspects and all the things that have been deleterious to my destiny. Until I'm free from all of that, I'll never be free for my future. I got to love the skin that I'm in. You got to look within yourself. You got to value you. You got to see that there's beauty that comes out of your ashes. Wounded doesn't mean you got to be worried. Wounded means that, guess what? I got to recognize that I'm a warrior. Many people died from less things that you went through, but you still here. You still survived, not just to only specifically survive, but to thrive. That's what it's about. Listen, I'm reminded of a story. About a woman by the name of Naomi Oni. She's from London. I can't put on no British accent tonight. It's not gonna sound right, but she's from London, and much of Naomi's story came to light. I mean, this happened all the way back in, I believe it was 2012. It was just a routine day. She's walking throughout London, and she's on her same track in her routine, taking the train, headed back home. And she recalls getting off the transit, whether it's a bus or a train. She recalls just being en route home, and she noticed that there was somebody in a veiled garment who was just following her. She couldn't see their face, but she saw that somebody, had something that was covering their face following her. And she remembered the person showed their face and they gave her a cold stare. And she really turned around, looked back. She's crossing the street, Naomi does, just a few minutes away from her house. And she notices, she looked behind herself, this person is still following me. She turns her head, all of a sudden, this is what Naomi feels on her face. She feels a splash of liquid on her face. Naomi's running home, and she didn't realize that the person threw acid on her face. And she's trying to wash it off, and the acid is eating away her scalp. The acid is eating away at her skin. And as she's trying to wash this acid off of her face, she's scared to even look in the mirror, right? How could somebody do such a vile act? And how could it just happen to somebody who's such a beautiful person? Because in many cases, Naomi could have been regarded as a model. She could have been strutting down any runway. Yeah, the sister was that bad. Right? Why did this happen to her? These are the questions that Naomi was repeatedly asking herself. And I wonder, have you ever been in a terrible situation? It may not have been like Naomi. Nobody, may have thrown no acid your way and this, that, and the other. Where you realize you've been just a pretty good person. You go to church, you pay your tithes, you pay your offering, you mentor, you give back to your community, you assist in the community, you help others in need, you show up when people need a handout. And as a result, you find yourself in a predicament, you find yourself in a situation, you're saying to yourself, why in the world is this happening to me? I don't know if you ever been in a situation like that where I could think about 10 people right now who should be in the situation that I'm in, but I find myself struggling. Where you say you find yourself, I got more days in a month than I got money. I can't find a friend in the daytime with a flashlight. I've been a pretty good person. Why am I struggling going through stuff when I've been good? When I've been on my best behavior? When I've been helping other folks in need and I can't find nobody to help me in need? Why in the world is this happening to me? That same question I asked myself 24 years ago, being diagnosed with cancer. That same question I've asked myself in many other situations and trials, trying to fight through what it is that I was going through, trying to stay alive in college, financially, monetarily, all of that. Right? And like Naomi, in many cases, what we are unaware of, we're unaware of the attack that in many cases is coming to us. What do you do, family, when the beautiful life you dreamed of becomes an ugly nightmare? What do you do when the beautiful life that you envision? What do you do when the beautiful life that you envision and you saw for yourself becomes everything except that, and it becomes just a haunting, daunting nightmare? Right? What do you do when the perpetrator who exacted whatever they did against you is familiar to you. And here's the thing about Naomi. Little did Naomi know that the twist to the whole story, the person who was following her, was the person that knew her and was her so-called friend. Isn't it interesting, the twist of the story? The person who threw the acid on her, the person who disfigured her face, the person who destroyed seemingly her life was the same person who in many cases was the person that she called friend. And not just a friend, it was a female friend. It was a person who she regarded as a sister. It was a person who in many cases had the nerve to say, I'm with you. I got you. I got your back. But in many cases, not only did they just stab her in the back, they destroyed and dismantled her face. Isn't that something? When you have a friend who's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you've heard the statement, you've heard the quote, you've heard the narrative with friends like that, who needs enemies? You say, well, what happened to the person? Yeah, that person was apprehended. The person was in prison. The person served time. But you cannot erase the scars that were inflicted. The beauty of Naomi's story came out of something that was so ugly that despite the betrayal from her friend because of jealousy, she decided to forgive the person. But in the midst of moving from what was fatal to forgiveness, she had to fight through all of the things about who will marry her now, who will befriend me now, who will not see me as a monster, who will not see me as somebody who's negative, who will not see me as somebody who is a victim. Right? And it's easy for us to internalize and have a victim's mindset and a victim mentality, when in many cases we got to turn from being a victim to being a victor. But the only way that we do that is in many cases not retaliation, is not feeling condemnation. It is us moving into a place of forgiveness. And sometimes the person that we got to forgive the most is the man or the woman in the mirror. Why do we have to forgive ourselves the most? Because we have to forgive ourselves sometimes for allowing certain things to happen. We have to forgive ourselves for placing all of our trust in somebody who's a finite human being. What do you do when the scars that you experience are greater than what you feel on your face, the acid that's thrown on your neck? What in many cases you experience that dismantled just and disfigured you on the outside, but you're dealing with intense pain that you're experiencing on the inside. Forgiveness is what's going to free you from bitterness. And what Naomi did, which was absolutely courageous, because I don't know if I was going to be able to forgive that quickly, if at all. I don't know if I got a few folks riding with me who say, listen, Naomi better than me. I don't know if I could just acquiesce and just forgive just immediately like that. Somebody say, yeah, I'm a part of the kingdom. I'm a king's kid, but I'm from the east side of the kingdom. I'm from the south side of the kingdom. I'm from the west side of the kingdom. You're going to have to pray for me that you don't get these hands. Right? Right? She decided to forgive that so-called friend who committed the heinous act, recognizing that for her to really live and for her to move on with her life, she had to close that particular chapter, give God the pen, and let him write a new narrative. And oftentimes we want to hold on to that pen because our next chapter is going to be called vengeance. Our next chapter is going to be called I'm standing on business. Our next chapter is going to be called you better step back because I'm going to push you back. But here's the beauty of it. You can find beauty for ashes. is what Isaiah 61:3 says. Praise will be will be in exchange for the spirit of heaviness. You got to understand that the tears you've sown are literally watering the seed for your harvest. What in many cases became tragic can become an ultimate testimony. And so often what we have done, our lives have in many cases been kind of like Naomi, because we've allowed what people have dumped on us to now label us. We've allowed what people have dumped on us to now be the lot of our life, to where we never get up out of the situation that we found ourselves in. But what people have dumped on you does not have to become your lot and your lifestyle. Right? When you give God abuse, he can turn into what can be of use. The hurt, the pain, the shame, the manipulation, the rejection, the animosity, the bitterness that in many cases has been a label on our lives. When we now internalize all of that, and we now take the steps of moving into a place of understanding that isolation brings revelation, revelation brings elevation, elevation moves us into a place of greater manifestation. I never get out of that situation until I take the time for sometimes some isolation, and the isolation is going to bring about some revelation. In that aspect, I recognize how I need to forgive. I recognize sometimes holding on to the wrong people was holding me back. Holding on to the pain of the past holds you back from the power of the prism of your future. Are y'all feeling me tonight? Come on, somebody just type tonight. Somebody just type beauty. Somebody just type beauty. Beauty. Beauty is coming out of your scars. Beauty is coming out of the situation. Beauty is coming out of the breakdown to move you into a place of a greater breakthrough. People may have burned you, but God still preserved you. People may have stepped on you, but you got to use the stumbling block as a stepping stone. Right? Something beautiful is coming out of you despite what it is that you've been through. The right one for you is committed to love you despite the scars that you've experienced. Right? Because they see in you sometimes what it is that you don't even see in yourself. For the ashes that have been castigated on your life, something beautiful is coming out of it as a result of it. You got to understand this. And I know the world and people oftentimes place an emphasis on your beauty and how handsome you are is only predicated on how people see you and how people view you on the outside. But if beauty is only predicated and based on what you have on the outside, that's a real shallow level of beauty. Beauty has to be internal before it is external, because it doesn't matter how beautiful somebody tells you that you are. It doesn't matter how handsome somebody tells you that you are. If you don't see it in you, their words are just falling on deaf ears. If you don't see something that is great inside of you, beyond somebody just telling you that there's something great inside of you, you won't even believe it anyway, even if they tell you. You got to see something beautiful is coming out of your scars, right? Because only something beautiful comes out of your scars when you give God the scars and you allow him to transform it into something that was so dark, that was so destitute, that now is illuminated. And now you don't allow shame and stigma to silence you simply because you've used the scar as a testimony. You don't allow the scars of animosity. You don't allow the scars of bitterness. You don't allow the scars of envy. You don't allow the scars of jealousy. You don't allow the scars of folks talking about you. But no, you appropriate that to say, listen, they give me free publicity. Because there are some things that money cannot buy. There are some things that surgery cannot repair. There are some things that a meal cannot fill. There are some things that clothes cannot cover. There are some things that makeup cannot mask. And it doesn't matter what you do to cover it. Doesn't matter what you do to purchase it. Doesn't matter what you do to drive in it. if you are not healed, that hurt is going to seep through and that hurt is going to emanate through you anyway. And that's why you got to recognize that in many cases, despite the scars of what it is that you have experienced, something beautiful is coming out of it, despite the myriad and the mess of what it is that you have grappled with. Listen, if you're just tuning in tonight, we're talking about beautiful scars. Talking about beautiful scars tonight. Got a little bit of time left. Got a few things I still want to share tonight. But I want you to like, I want you to comment, I want you to share, I want you to subscribe. Come on. Like, comment, share, subscribe, especially those on the YouTube side. Like, comment, share, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Make sure that you share it if you have not done so. We talked yesterday a little bit about lessons and blessings. And here's one of the beautiful things about the blessing that comes out of the lesson is that the right people that come into your life will not judge you based upon your past. They will hold you accountable simply for your future. Because a lot of times what we have are a lot of people who are trying to judge us and ain't even got a law degree. Right? They're trying to judge us based on how it is that they have lived their life. The right people understand this, that you have a fragile, do not drop label on your life. And as a result, they want to handle you with care. Simply because they value you. They cherish you. They want you to be at your best. Why? Because they see the best in you, despite what it is that you've been through. Even on your worst days, they still see the best in you. Simply because one of the preeminent aspects of true success that's beyond just monetary. And I know we see the word success and we draw a line over the S and we draw a diagonal line in the C of the words of the letters S and C in success. But the ultimate aspect of success is this. It is healing. The ultimate aspect of success is this. We have to be, we have to do, and we have to have. Why is that? Because it's outlined in Genesis. Genesis chapter 1 speaks about this. Being fruitful. Be fruitful. Talk about be, do, have. Be fruitful. Do multiply and replenish. Have dominion. And the people who keep going, despite what it is of the pain of what it is that they have been experiencing, the people who keep going are the people who are focused on becoming. Right? The people who keep going are the people who are focused on becoming the person who can have what they desire to receive. Beyond just you having your hands out to receive, what are you doing to become in order to get more? The people on the other side who give up are the ones who want to have what they desire without their willingness to become in order to receive what it is that they aspire to have. And we got to understand this. The work that we do in our personal life, the work that we do to heal, the work that we do to be successful, the work that we do to build the business, the work that we do to become the right one for the right one, the work that we do, the sweat equity of what it is that we have that we have experienced, we got to realize this, that all work works. Come on, just type that tonight. Type all work works. I want you to get that in your spirit tonight. I want you to realize that. Type that tonight. All work works. Yeah. Work is not a cuss word. Work is not just some 4-letter word that you just pick it up and you just do it whenever you feel like doing it. No, all work works. Why do I say that? Because either the work is working for you or it works on you. All work works. Either it works for you or it works on you. Here's what we want it to be, though. You want it to be both. The only way that it becomes both is if you're willing to answer this question. Am I willing to allow it to work on me so it can work for me? All work works. Either it works for you or it works on you. You want it to be both. You want it to work. You want it to be both and. I want it to work for me and I want it to work on me. Am I willing to allow it to work on me so it can work for me? I want it to work for my business. But in many cases, maybe for it to work on your business, you got to learn how to budget. That's going to be something that's going to work on you. You want it to work for you in your relationships, but maybe there's an attitude adjustment that you got to do to work on you so that the relationship can be sustained. Why is that? Because whatever you resist will persist. Whatever you refuse to challenge yourself to change will never be changed. If you resist budgeting your money, I guarantee you debt and lack of money will persist. If you resist adjusting your attitude, I guarantee you the beauty of positive relationships will not be a part of your life. Whatever you resist will persist. Are you willing to go against the current that wants to push you into an ease of life, but in many cases is not really easy? It leads you to hardness. It hardens your heart, hardens your outlook, it hardens your aspect of your vision for your own life. It's going to continue to persist if you don't resist. If you continue to resist the change of what it is that's going to make you a better person. Right? Because here's what we do. We're wearing our scars and we're making no apologies saying that we ain't going to change. I am who I am. It is what it is. This is the way it's going to be. I'm just going to be like this. But we refuse to become in order to have. We want to have. But having is interconnected to becoming. The hard truths, the hard realities. That's going to really shape us. That's going to really mold us. That's really going to take us to where it is that we're supposed to be. And it begins by healing the scars of what it is that we've experienced. They all say that, it hurts to look beautiful. And in many cases, it's connected to the pain of what you got to endure due to suffering. Whether, you plucking your eyebrows, whether you going to get, your nails done or your pedicure, or somebody's doing whatever they're supposed to do whatever they need to do in the gym to become better. More than hurting to look beautiful, it's going to hurt to stay looking like a victim, being a victim, internalizing yourself as a victim. When in many cases, on the other side of that victim mentality is a victory mindset. And what does that do? It begins with understanding that sometimes you got to endure the thorns. Sometimes you got to understand that beyond your beauty is beyond just makeup and mascara. It is the fact that you've survived and now you can thrive. It is the fact that you healed from low places, that you lived through dying places. It is you recognizing that your beauty is not just on the outside, your beauty is on the inside. It's how you birthed the greatness of who it is that you are out of an ugly situation. Is that you internalize that no amount of money, no amount of notoriety, no amount of people in your life can make you feel the way that you were created to feel and be who it is that you were created to be, simply because you unveiled your destiny by stepping into the power of your purpose. And sometimes maybe it is that you went through what you went through simply to have a testimony on how to bring somebody else out of what it is that they are in. Here's the thing. You too beautiful to let your past make you feel ugly. You're too special to allow scars to keep you feeling afflicted. You got to understand that this is the year, this is the time that in many cases, the tears that flow are going to water the seed for my harvest. I'm over focusing on the negative. I'm over focusing on what didn't go right, what could have changed, how I could have changed somebody, the things I could have done differently. You can't redo the past. Your purpose is waiting for you to step into it, having a vision for your future. I want to talk to somebody tonight. Now is not the time to give up. Now is the time to get up. And you get up when you decide to stop picking at the wound. I'm not picking at the wound. I'm realizing that there's wisdom that comes from my wounds. I'm not picking at the pain. I'm not picking at the past. I'm focused on my future. And I'm not going to make any apologies for the healing that I'm going to step into. I'm not going to make no apologies for not showing up to the party because I'm working on me. I'm not going to make no apologies for not showing up at a soiree because I'm studying to get my good grades and graduate. I'm not going to make no apologies for taking the time to have a moment for myself. Why? Because I treasure my time. I'm not going to make any apologies for being who it is that I was called and created to be. Why? Because I'm too unique to compete. I'm too rare to compare. My royalty demands loyalty. I'm not in the business of competition. I'm looking for the right people who understand the power of collaboration. Right? I want to let you know, despite your scars, my friend, God is in the business of making your life beautiful again. Will you understand that you have to be, do, and have in order to receive? Sorry, not sorry. Right? I'm making no apologies for it because I've accepted forgiveness for myself. Yeah. I moved into that place of forgiveness. And I guarantee you, you really begin to live when you forgive. You know you're walking in the power of forgiveness when you don't even need an apology. They apologize, fine. If they don't apologize, fine. What's courageous is you being able to forgive people who may never give you an apology. And it'll only happen easier when you begin to forgive yourself. Yeah. The situation was messed up. You messed up. But you learn how to grow up. Right? Because it's about your development. It's about your maturational enrichment. It's about you having the mindset to not just survive, but to thrive. It's about you embracing your truth. It's about you valuing your mental health. It's about you making space in your life for yourself to recognize you're not a human doing, you're a human being. It's about you having some grace for yourself as you grow through what it is that you go through, because you understand that healing is not episodic. You understand that healing is a process. And you understand that to make it to your purpose and to live in your purpose each and every single day is to go through the process, but take a step each and every single day to walk in the power of progress. Yeah, that's what it's about. Listen, for those of you watching tonight, make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, make sure that you share, make sure that you subscribe. to me on the YouTube side, just type progress tonight. Just type progress tonight. Progress. I will not regress. I won't even digress. I'm getting ready to make progress. Yeah. Right? I'm making progress because I'm too blessed to be stressed. That's what it's about. Listen, those of you on the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, thank you so much for watching tonight. YouTube, if y'all not on YouTube, I need you to make sure that you go to YouTube. Yeah, those of you watching me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's run the numbers up. You know how the algorithm does. Yeah, let's beat the algorithm at his own game. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I am coming to you Monday through Friday in the mix at 6. Empowering you to soar at 6, giving you strategy, structure, solutions to make your life work. And that's what we're doing. We're all about making progress. And one of those ways to make progress is to understand that beauty comes out of our scars. Yeah. That things don't just happen to us. They happen for us. And I believe something greater will happen for you when you have the resources to take your life to another level. I need you to visit my Eagles Academy store, where we have a number of different resources that are there, strategy, structure, solutions to grow your greatness. Go to the eaglesacademy.com/store and put in the word soar at checkout. When you get my bestseller book blueprint, if you want to build your book, if you want to write your book this year, I got the strategy, the structure, and the solutions on how to do that. I'm sharing with you all of the steps and the ingredients of how to make your book work and how to make it a bestseller. My latest one, called Identity, went #1 on Amazon just a few months ago. Same can happen for you. Lonnie, you said I watch you here on Instagram, but on YouTube stream, I'm on TV. She said I'm double dipping. I love it. Yeah. Double for your trouble. We doubling it up in 2024. There's the bestseller book blueprint. If you want strategies to develop yourself as a speaker, the whole tenor of communication is about connection. Are you connecting where you're communicating? There's an art of communication, and that is what words are you painting when you're speaking? So there's the successful speaker strategies. You can get 40% off of that when you use the word soar. And of course, I got a free download of my book, my ebook. I never give ebooks away for free. So you know this one got to be special. It's available at the eaglesacademy.com/store. It's called More in 2024. And what I'm giving you are strategy, structure, and solutions on how to make this your best year yet and how to become more in 2024, which sets you up to receive. And then, of course, I got to teach tonight at 7:30 p.m., but I want you to make sure that you join me in my Eagles Academy. That's where I'm teaching tonight. I teach, I coach, I train, I mentor. I give you insight in this amazing network of gifted leaders. Is just a straight up amazing collaborative community. You need to be a part of it. If you want to grow in your greatness, we talk about relationships, we talk about business, we talk about character development, we talk about how to use your gift, just how to grow in every specific aspect. And we give you tangible, practical strategies that you can employ immediately. You want to be around other Eagles who are going to soar to another level. Join me, theeaglesacademy.com/store. All the new members, if you want to be a new member, and even you still got some time to join me tonight, another half hour before we kick it off tonight, you can be a part of the Eagles Academy. Put in the word soar at checkout, and you see I'm giving you the hookup. Holla if you hear me. That's what it is tonight. We right on the dotted line. I said I really wanted to stop by about 7 o'clock tonight, and we are right there. Listen, I want to thank you all Y'all been showing me a whole lot of love since I've been going live these last, guess we started last Wednesday in the year. And I thought it was just going to be once a week thing, but I kind of got into it. And so we made it a Monday through Friday thing. Yeah, we made it a Monday through Friday thing every single day, Monday through Friday, in the mix at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I appreciate you all for showing me love, whether it's been on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And of course, my YouTube family. That's really where this is all at. So thank you for watching yet another episode of In the Mix at 6 with yours truly, Dr. Eddie. I got to get out of here. But remember, again, you can always catch me Monday through Friday. Yep, I'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over the digital airwaves, especially on YouTube. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Of course, hit the notification bell so that you can be up to date on all the new content. Be sure to pick up my new book, my latest book, which is called Identity: Keys to Discover Your Uniqueness, Unlock Your Greatness. As always, it's great talking to amazing people like you. I'll see you next time. Until then, it's your main man, Dr. Eddie, signing off. Peace and love, everybody.